What is going on, everybody? Nasdorachi coming back at you again today for another episode for Dragon Ball Legends. And it is going to be one of those types of episodes, you guys, where we dive into some more of the controversial aspects of this game. I'm sure you might already know that from the title of the video, might be why you clicked on it. But we're not talking about cheaters today or any community problems. We are actually discussing the problems that are given to us by the game developers directly. And of course, what we're talking about is the adventure system, you guys. It is becoming increasingly obvious that the adventure system is a setup for failure. And that's on part of the devs, just the requirements that they have set for us have become increasingly unreasonable over time, to the point where I think it's a good time to now talk about it because it's on a lot of people's minds. I posted about it on Twitter and it got a lot of interaction comparative to, my average tweets. So obviously it is, not just on my mind, but a lot of other people's minds. So of course, adventure system. We're going to break it down real quick as to why it exists in the first place, because not all of you guys might know some of the more inner workings of these mobile games. So the adventure system, you guys probably know how it works at face value. You log into the game, you do certain things, you get these cards, you passively send your characters to do something, to collect something. It requires no active playtime to do it, and then over time, you get free rewards, okay? That's obvious. Everybody who's played the game knows that. This system exists. It's not as a gift to free-to-play players. It's not because the devs are just feeling generous and want to just give us stuff. The system specifically exists to keep the game on your mind, to keep you logging in as consistently as possible and playing the game for as much time as they can get you to play. So it's basically kind of like a bribery system where you're like, hey, you come in, you spend a lot of your valuable time, because let's be honest, you guys, all of our times are valuable to us, and the devs know that. So they kind of con us into coming in to play the game as much as possible, and they give you free stuff. Which again, when the system was newer, it wasn't so bad, because the goals and the milestones you had to hit were nowhere near as oppressive as to what they've been getting recently. Moving into the system a little bit more, let's bring up some gameplay real quick to help illustrate things a little bit more in depth, and then we're going to jump into some more just hard analysis of why this system is so bad, you guys. So of course, again, we're talking about right now the cake farming. We're farming these New Year's or holiday cakes, and then of course you get, your missions, which then give you the rewards for said cakes. And again, when this system was newer, it really wasn't so bad. It has been around for months now, you guys, pretty much ever since they revamped the Cybermen stages for the 5 individual colors of the souls you need, and then the Zenny and the experience ones. The first time they revamped that is about when the developers realized that there wasn't really too much incentive to use the adventure system anymore. And that's when the first of these kind of more toxic, the Rising Star event was the first one, I do believe. That's when we started seeing these, because at that point, you don't need to use your adventures to get more Zenny, more souls, or anything like that. So the developers then switched over to this auxiliary farming, whatever we're farming. Again, it changes all the time. Every 20 days, it pretty much cycles into a new one of these with no breaks, no rest. It's consistent, you guys. But anyway, we're farming those up and trying to get that, and that was the replacement for needing to do the original way, which was fine at that time. But now, at this point in the game, it's getting to the point where it's so ridiculous that most average players, anyone with a job, anyone that goes to school, is not going to be able to get these completionary rewards. Like, you're getting up here to getting the 600,000 of them just to get the final ticket, just to maybe not even get the new unit. Again, it's free stuff, so at a glance, it seems okay, but it's really toxic how they are demanding the player base. Like, if you aren't paying money, if you're a free-to-play player and you want to get these things, but you have a job and you go to school or you do anything with your life, you're just not going to be able to do it. They're dangling it in front of your face, teasing you with it. Now, of course, there's going to be some people in the comments, some players of the game that, are able to know life the game, and this system will benefit them. But that, again, is catering to like 1% of the people that play the game, and that's just setting up the other 99% of the game population for failure, which again is going to demotivate the player base. It's not going to want to encourage people to play the game and to keep up with things, and the lower the player base gets, the less obvious people are playing, and then even those 1% of the hardcore players are going to eventually end up quitting because there's nobody left for them to play with and for them to use all their OP units on. And that's whether they're, paying or not. Even whales that are really devoted to this game are doing most of this stuff to get the titles, to get that recognition that they have all the titles unlocked, to appease that completionist side of, the collector in them, which a lot of people have that to some degree, obviously more so than others. But again, we're going to break down the math as to why this is so unreasonable here, because we haven't actually done that yet. So let's kill the gameplay for a second, and let's bring up something here that is very telling. So we had somebody on Reddit actually run the numbers for the logistics behind this adventures here. So shout out to the Inglorious Jebs. Of course, the New Year's event, starting with the cakes that we were just looking at a second ago. We need 600,000 cakes to get that final ticket. Okay, and when you run through all 5 adventures, of course, you have to do the 1 hour ones, you guys, because the numbers on the screen here show why you have to do the 1 hour ones. But you get from a set of 5 adventures on average of 700 cakes. Now that's including the ones that hit for the huge success and give you a lot more, mixed with the ones that only roll like 3 stacks of 150. So when you average all that out, you get about 700 cakes per adventure, which maths out to needing 858 adventures to complete the 600,000 cakes. Now, the campaign only lasts for 20 days, so that roughly equates to you needing to do 43 adventures per day. And that again is the 1 hour adventure, because something else shady that they've done recently that Pomzor, another Legends YouTuber, kind of figured out, is they have nerfed the 3 hour adventures to where they give equal to or less than the amount of souls that the 1 hour adventures give. So not only are they encouraging you to not use the 3 hour ones, so you have to log into the game every hour throughout the day to check on this. It's just, it's just a setup for failure, you guys. 43 adventures is what you have to do per day, every day, for 20 days, with 5 available adventure slots, means you have to log in a minimum of 9 times per day, every single day of the 20-day campaign to get all those rewards. And it doesn't end, because as soon as that 20 days ends, another one of these is going to start up. So 9 times per day at a minimum, every single day, to get all of these rewards here. It's even worse for the snowmen for the last adventure, because you had to get 800,000 of those to complete all of the rewards if you wanted everything. I think it was somewhere around 600,000 to 700,000 again if you wanted all the tickets for the Gogeta, or the Goku and Vegeta step-up banners, the Super Saiyan 4s, sorry. So yeah, 800,000, you still get about 700 of the snowmen per adventure, equals 1,143 adventures needed. You divide that by the 20 days for the campaign, equals 57 adventures per day. 57 1-hour adventures per day. You stay up at least enough to log in 11 times per day, and then maybe you can nap, and when you nap, you throw on the 3-hour adventures. It's ridiculous, dude. That is to the point where, again, people that work 8 to 10 hour shifts a day at a job, that's, pretty much every adult in the world who has access to a smartphone anyway. We're not talking about like islanders who still live like tribal lifestyles on secluded islands. They're not playing Legends. Every adult who they anticipate spending money on this game has to be employed. If you have to work a 10-hour shift every day, you're not going to be able to log in 11 times per day every hour. Like, logistically, think about it. The average person is awake for between 12 to about 18 hours a day and sleeps the rest. And if you're working 8 to 10 hours of that period of time, you don't have time. You physically will not have time to accommodate this unless your job allows you to whip your phone out and, stop paying attention to your work to tinker with this game. And the Japanese developers, they're a very hardworking culture. They know this. They know that these people are not going to be able to do this. So it is a deliberate setup for failure for 99% of the player base of the game. You're not going to be able to get all these tickets there's other factors. There's still more to it, you guys. You're just not going to be able to do it. Even kids who are not the target demographic of this game, because they're not working, they're not spending money, so they're not who the developers are targeting to want to play this game, they're still in school for like 6 to 8 hours a day. And I guarantee that the teachers are not going to be wanting them to whip their phones out in class in America or Japan to be tending to this game. So whether you're young or whether you're old, you're not able to do this. You're working, you're in school. The only way you can do this is if you are one of the people that has a lifestyle that can accommodate you pretty much no-lifing this game and being constantly able to pay attention to it. For a phone game, you guys, to me, that is flat out ridiculous. Now, we're going to take this to the next level here. Like, you thought it was bad enough as it is already. No. It gets even worse, you guys, because they've now introduced the Zenkai system. So, people that want to Zenkai their Zenkai characters need these new special, diamond-shaped Zenkai souls. And where do you get those? You get them from the adventures for doing co-op. So now, not only do you have to balance this on screen that you're seeing 11 times per day, constantly running the snowmens, the cakes, to get those done, but if you want to even boost your Zenkai units, you then have to balance those adventures with doing... It's just not mathematically possible. If you want to Zenkai your units, and that's not just getting them to the Z level, that's opening all the soul boost panels to get the raw stats, to get the abilities... It's just not physically possible to do this. You're going to have to make a choice. Do you care about these tickets? Do you care about getting these rewards with the titles that are associated with them? With stats that permanently affect your account, so there is reason to do that? Or do you want to Zenkai your characters? And God forbid you even worry about doing the original types of adventures to get extra Zenny or souls from those. It's literally just not an option. You have to farm these events and use this currency to buy the souls you need, because you can't run the old style adventures. There's just no time available whatsoever to budget that. So, how could this system be fixed? Well, immediately, they could just do away with it. I mean, they need to preserve the motivation to log in. So they can't just flat out get rid of it when I said it like I just did. But they could lower the rewards. They could give us 5 additional adventure slots, which they actually did mention that they were considering doing in 2020, giving us more slots to run more adventures. But even then is a sideways leap, because I have a suspect feeling that with the 5 extra adventure slots, if the adventure missions like these evolve with those slots, then they're going to be wanting us to get like 1.8 million of cakes to be able to get all of the missions done. Sorry, I'm stuttering a little bit here. I'm passionate about this. It's frustrating, you guys. But yeah, so unless they preserve these numbers how they are and add the 5 additional slots, then it's going to be meaningless. If we have to farm more of the currency because we have more slots now, then that defeated the purpose of adding the extra slots in the first place, because it's still just as unreasonable. This system cannot go on like this, you guys. I mean, again, it's free stuff. People can be like, well, why are you complaining about free stuff? Well, it's not that. I mean, I like free stuff, but it's just the mental gymnastics that they're doing to try and manipulate people into playing the game is going to have the opposite effect, and it's going to drive people away because they're going to see that they don't have enough time to get these free rewards. It's going to demotivate them. If I can't get the last ticket, I can't do the summons, I can't get the unit, then what's the point? I mean, that's a very common line of thinking with the every player of this game, you guys, and that is going to hurt the population of the game, which then in turn hurts the game. So they need to reevaluate how this system works, what its usefulness is, how it ties into these gifts. Like, we can all remember, us longtime players back in the day, where you'd get all 14 tickets for your UST summons just from logging in. That's getting someone to log in 1 time a day. That wasn't good enough for them. They need more playtime, they need more numbers to pump up the app in the Play Store, and this is how they decided to go about doing that, you guys. And it's very unfortunate. It is very demotivating. It's very demoralizing. And don't just take it as me over here whining and bitching, you guys. I honestly don't care. I stopped doing the adventures. Like, whenever I log in, I'll do some. I'll get the rewards that I get. Usually I get to around like 200 or 300,000 total of the stuff that I get. And I don't worry about it anymore, you guys. Like, I love the game. I love playing the game. The core fundamental aspects of the game are awesome, but stuff like this is extremely cancerous. And even though I see what they're trying to do by trying to get people to play the game, this is not it, Chief. Like, this is not how you go about it, making it so ridiculously unattainable that it just makes me feel like, why do I even want to try? And again, I am someone that can afford to spend a little bit of money on the game, so I'm not too worried about getting all the summon tickets. Like, if I get them, I get them. If I don't, I don't. I'll probably just pull Captain Ginyu with the tickets anyway, so it's not even really worth the effort. And just the fact that they're pushing it this hard, making it this impossible to get everything, while also balancing trying to get Zenkai souls, it really just blows my mind, you guys. Like, again, I can see why the system was created, I can see why it's useful, but this is just not the way to go about doing this, you guys. So if the developers happen to see this, like Toshi or anybody else, please consider reworking this system somehow. You can have it in the game, but have it where it's not going to be so oppressive where it's visibly obvious how hard you guys are trying. Like, that is not good. You should reward people for playing the game. Like, you should want people to log into the game. You should want to reward them for playing, but not by being manipulative and forceful about it. That's just like, I mean, I don't want to make any like political comparisons here because that's just, I don't want to do that, but it's not a good look. It's not a good look. This could be a very good system. It could be a lot more balanced with just even some simple tweaks and rearranging of how the awards work, but as it is right now, it is a setup for failure, you guys. And I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Again, if we look at Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, the response from this post here has been pretty overwhelming for me. Like, I posted it last night, and it's got 202 retweets, 390 likes here. There's a bunch of activity on Facebook, I think like 150 more of each, and comments all over the place I've been trying to respond to. So again, let me know on the YouTube video down below in our comments here, what are your thoughts on the adventure system? Do you even bother to try and get them all? Do you have the available time to spend on the game, logging in 9 to 15 times a day to rotate your adventures? I know once you get in there and do it, it doesn't take that much time or effort. It's just the sheer quantity of times you have to do it, the fact that you may have to alter your sleep or work schedules around it. That is the part where it really trips me out, you guys. And of course, again, I want to know your opinions on the system down below. If you enjoy the video, consider leaving a thumbs up on it. Help spread it out. More people will be able to see it, feed the algorithm a little bit. And of course, I appreciate each and every one of you that help support the channel. And of course, if you're new here, consider subscribing, because we'll have plenty more Dragon Ball Legends, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, and just other video game content in general coming. So hopefully I'll be able to see you again on the next upload. Y'all have a great evening, peace out, and we'll see you next time.